Hey guys, how's it going? Looks like I'm live here. A little bit of a delay, like always. YouTube's always slow with the application. As soon as I open it up, it always says you're going live, and then I just have to, look at a circle for a few minutes, but it's kind of normal. Anyways, hopefully you guys have had a good week. It's Friday again already. Another late night stream for me. I think I've told you guys before, but basically here's the deal. I'm a really small business. I do landscaping, lawn service, all of that. And in Michigan, where I'm at, it rained 24 days last month. So imagine a business that's dependent upon the weather where, you can't cut if it's too wet. You don't really want to cut in the middle of the rain. And it rains 24 out of 31 days. It's kind of crazy. So many days I go out there and start working and I'm working through my route. Then all of a sudden, thunderstorm comes through. Have to turn around. You know what I mean? And then it stops raining. Well, I'm behind, so I go make another attempt at it. Round two, wasting time driving, everything. So for a lot of people that don't work outside, it's kind of an inconvenience, when it rains. But for me, it's like a serious problem. So unfortunately, here's what sucks about life. I like doing YouTube videos more, and I'd rather put out a video and hang out with you guys. But yeah, I make $0 on YouTube, and there's bills to pay, and life's expensive, so I've had to work. And today I had a dry day once and for all, but after how much it's rained this past week, I've been behind. I'll be behind all weekend. So with all that said, that's why I'm starting late tonight. Hopefully, if things can just level out, I have no problem. I like to schedule myself for the week and schedule my workload for Friday to get done a little bit earlier, and that's my goal. So hopefully pretty soon here I'll be able to start my streams more like around 9 o'clock Eastern time. That's my goal when I'd like to start my streams, and I'd like to put out at least 2, 3, 4 regular videos a week if I can too. And I really do plan on that, but it's been kind of like nothing short of a catastrophe as far as the the weather goes. So yeah. Let's see who's here tonight. Seth's here. What's happening, man? Of course, Mateo 1371's here. Tree Guy, how's it going, man? I know you work outside. How much is it raining where you're at? Francis is here. Is it still snowing where you're at, or are you guys finally into warm weather where it's raining? Mike Sylvester, what's happening, man? Brasser, does it ever rain where you're at? Who else? Arm Dave, how's it going? But yeah, I think a few of you guys work outside. I know Tree Guy does. It's kind of obvious, right, by his name and whatnot. Oh, that's cool. Good for you, man. I don't wish this weather on anybody else. Like I said, here it's just been kind of stupid. But yeah, so what I wanted to do tonight is, it's not going to be a very long stream. I have a huge job tomorrow to do. Of course, there's a 50% chance of rain tomorrow, so hopefully that doesn't, whatever. I don't even want to acknowledge that right now. But yeah, basically I'm going to I'd like to do a little bit of a Q&A because people ask me questions. I get emails from people. People ask questions in the comments, and I do try to respond to all those questions. But if you guys have any questions, about any of my guns I've talked about, Milsurps in general, there's some things I know relatively nothing about, but there's other things I know a little bit more about. So you guys know what I'm into. I'm into a lot of Milsurp stuff, AKs, that kind of stuff. So if you guys have any questions about that, feel free to work up any questions for me. And I'm going to also give you guys just a couple little Milsurp tips, because it keeps becoming a reoccurring thing where some of the littlest things with Milsurps people are asking about. And, sometimes I kind of forget that, but it's like, well, hold on a minute. I've been into Milsurps for how long now? Over 25 years. But if someone's just getting into it, there's some things, some kind of basic, obvious questions people have been asking me, and kind of, little different tips on Milsurps, like kind of like a couple broad ways to look at them and a couple little things like that. So I just figured I'd go over a few real basic things. And of course, if anyone wants to know more, I could, get quite a bit deeper with a lot of stuff. So one thing I do want to show you guys, because I always like to give you guys that are here for my live streams a little bit of a sneak preview of things. I am going to do another video on the Star pistols. Meaning, if you guys remember back, a few weeks back, I did How Not to Destroy Your Milsurp Pistol with the Star BM 9mm and the other Stars as far as that goes. And I showed you guys the use of a snap cap. And I still have a snap cap in this gun right here. And you guys probably already saw that video. If not, go back and watch it. Why you should use a snap cap. Well, it also occurred to me because of some comments in some, the video on this gun, that some people are unaware of how the magazines release and how you should insert them on some of these military surplus pistols, okay? So we're going to the stars right now with this particular gun, and there's a lot of Milsurps that are going to actually fall into this category, believe it or not. You're going to notice a couple things right away with the magazine, where if you have, let's just say, a more modern gun, more of your typical American type, manual of arms gun, you're going to press the magazine release, and instantly it's just going to drop free, right? Even if it's not loaded. In fact, a lot of times you can hit the button and it'll actually pop up a little bit, right? Well, with a lot of the Milsurps and European guns, that's not really the way that they, train their people, whether it's a policeman or a soldier or whatnot. They didn't want the mags to drop free, so they wanted you to retain your mag, right? Because, well, they usually only issued sometimes 2 mags with each pistol. It's not like there's infinite mags sitting there on the bench like it is when these YouTubers like to throw their mags on the ground all the time. So this is no different. When you release the mag on this gun, it's going to pop out a little bit, but this is not a drop-free mag. I'm repeatedly hitting the magazine release. So what you're supposed to do is press the mag release, finish pulling out the mag. I hate to bore some of you guys, but I think this is covered because repeatedly people have said, something's going on with my star because the magazine's not really coming out when I hit the mag release. Hey, it's all good. There's probably nothing wrong with your star. It's probably actually doing exactly what it's supposed to. Now, whether you guys like this type of magazine release or this manual of arms, if you will, that's up to you. But I'm just saying, this is pretty much par for the course for a lot of these foreign guns, we'll call them, foreign Milsurps. Another thing, and this applies to your stars and others, when you go to reinsert the magazine, you're going to reinsert it, and you're going to notice it kind of hits like a little bit of a wall there. You can just slap it in, and I found that doing that occasionally is fine, but really what you should do when you notice it hitting that little ledge, that's the mag release that it's hitting here. I don't know if you guys can notice that. If you press in the mag release button, then you'll notice there's no friction. It'll go right forward. Now, some people have said they've actually broken their mag catch / release by just jamming the mag in there. So, I guess it's kind of common sense, but again, you can do this. It's up to you guys. It just depends how handy you are with replacing parts, whether you think it's worth it or not. I'm going to do it right now to show you it's not going to break every time. You can just slap it in there. It'll overcome the mag release, but you are actually meeting quite a bit of friction. So really the proper way to insert a mag on these is you insert it in so far. Now, you're not going to do it in a goofy angle like this. I'm doing it in front of the camera, obviously, but there you go. So we're going to release our mag here. We're going to grab the mag, pull it out, pretend I have a freshly loaded mag, insert. I'm going to come back and push this with my thumb again, fully insert the mag, let go of the release / catch, and there you go. So you guys have seen it first, just a little bit of just a pointer. I have a couple of the other stars here too. We can check that out on. Here's a Star Model B. I've showed this gun before on here. This is the World War II vintage star. Kind of interesting, right? These were actually made for rear echelon type forces within Germany. So these certainly weren't the frontline pistols. And very rarely are these actually like accepted or Waffen marked. The Germans didn't really go through the acceptance process. I guess no time for that, right? At the point that these guns were brought in, because they just simply weren't like what their army and their main frontline people were using. But these were part of the Nazi World War II war effort. So I'm going to release the mag here. Same thing. This one falls right out. So it's a little bit different than the Star BM. This one's falling right out, but I'm still noticing that little hitch there. So with this being a 70-something-year-old gun, not to risk it, it's probably a good idea to just push on that mag release. You'll find it goes in with no friction at all. So in this case, we do have a drop-free mag. Here's the moral of the story. Some Milsurps have drop-free mags, some don't. I found most foreign Milsurps actually do not. Just wanted to throw that out there. Don't worry about it. If you have a mag that's not dropping free, there's really nothing for you to fix necessarily. It's kind of the way the gun is. And if that's a deal breaker and you just can't stand it, hey, I get it. It doesn't matter to me what you like, but maybe just pick a different gun. But they really didn't want the mags to fall on the ground. That's the moral of the story. And that's evident by other things too, with many of the mags having lanyard loops on the bottoms of them and such, just to make sure you would retain that mag basically at all costs. It seems that a lot of the militaries, when they wrote their manual of arms, they were more worried, just as worried, I should say, about retaining the mag as they were the gun itself. At least that's what I've gleaned from reading some of the training material that was available back then. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here. Have I ever had USPS not for my expensive package? Man, I've had it all happen once or twice. Seems like only when I'm ordering gun stuff or gun-related stuff. I know I've said this before, but basically anything else I buy, whether it's personal or for my business, usually shows up pretty much good to go, timely, not really a problem. As soon as I order something gun-related, it can be something that's just mundane and stupid, and it still takes forever, and half the time they don't deliver it, and so, yeah, I've definitely had that happen for sure. Let's see what's going on. Okay, Francis was mowing yards yesterday, so I guess it is a little warm up there. I was kind of teasing you. I know you guys have a summertime too. Ninja Scouts here. How's it going, man? Nice to see you. Cave Dave, what's happening, man? I'm doing all right. Besides the fact that it's raining and turned my schedule upside down, but hey, I'm still here. Haven't been washed away yet, Does anyone have any questions for me? I'm just taking a peep here, and I don't see anyone asking me any questions. You guys ask me a lot of questions, but don't be shy. Ask me any questions on the stream, because then if I answer it for one of you, there might be 2 or 3 other people with the same question, What's up, Will G? How's it going, man? Bastard said he's had USPS send packages to the wrong town. Got it in the end, but days later. Yeah. I had a package too recently where they sent it to my house, postage due, and I called the company and said, hey, they're saying postage due. If I pay this postage, are you going to refund me? They said, no, we won't. So I said, all right, well, take it back then and get it right. So they did. They felt like, repackaging the whole deal and paying postage twice and sending it in a different box and all that. They chose to do that rather than just agree to credit my account or my card. It was like over $15 that was postage due. In my opinion, I don't think they really made the best decision, but yeah, that's what they felt like doing. So yeah. I've definitely had my own frustrations too. Oh, Will, my Spanish is not very good at all. It should be a little better. I think amigo means friend or something, but let me know what the rest of that means. I'm being dead serious. My Spanish is literally that bad, which is kind of messed up because my brother, he speaks fluent Spanish. And gosh, I think sometimes he's had, Hispanic people that he knows that have said, man, you speak better Spanish than we do in our country. He's that good at it. But me, I don't even know one single word. But I think you were being nice. So, okay, Will's got a question for me. What 9mm defense ammo do you recommend? Just got an HK P30S. Okay, HK P30S. What's the barrel length on that? Is that a compact or is that more of a full-size one? Because what your barrel length is actually going to change what my answer is. Now, let me see what I have here. Okay, here's one that I really recommend. And this is going to be good for a lot of compact guns. So let's just say you had your Taurus G2C. Oh, it means hello. Well, hello, Will. And I swear, dude, I was not being sarcastic. I literally didn't know what that meant. But so say you had a G2C. This has approximately 3-inch barrel, right? So I'm going to say anything less than a 4-inch barrel, or especially less than 3.5-inch barrel. Here's my deal. I'm going to say go with a little heavier grain. And as far as brand and type of ammo, I'm a pretty big HST fan. You know, there's a lot of stuff about this ammo available online. Whether it's you guys' favorite ammo or not, you know, whatever. But I don't think anyone's going to ever tell you this is crap ammo. And if they are, don't listen to them. This is a really good ammo. So this is my particular, you know, type of self-defense ammo I like to use. And if I'm using a shorter barrel gun, I'm going to go with a little heavier. So in this case, this is 147 grain. 147 grain. Now, the reason why I'm going to do that in a smaller barrel, like in a compact, right, is I'm not going to get the velocity out of the round anyways. So there's basically a couple different ways that ammo is effective, right? There's going to be the speed of the ammo, the weight of the ammo, and then, of course, the expansion. Well, if I'm not quite sure how much speed I'm going to get, or let's just say this, I know I'm not going to get too much speed out of the shorter barrel. It's just a fact. Shorter barrels, you're going to sacrifice speed. So I already know it's going to go a little slower. Is it going to expand or not? It may expand, but I'm not going to be convinced it's going to always reliably expand out of this shorter barrel. So I'd rather have a little bit bigger pill. I guess if I'm going to have to choose, if it's going to be a little bit slower and it may or may not expand completely properly every time, I'm going to go with 147 grain. Now, the same exact ammo, the HST line, this is made in different grains. So the other grain that I carry, so with it being a Glock 19 size, I think you're going to be right on the edge where you could probably go to like, because that is, you know, significantly longer barrel than this G2C. I think with that, I would probably go with the same type of ammo line, the HST, but I'd probably go with 124 grain plus P. And the reason why is you're going to have enough barrel where you're going to be able to burn a little bit more powder, put a couple more twists on that bullet on its way out, and you're probably going to, you know, benefit from the increased speed from the higher pressure and, you know, larger powder charge rounds. So hopefully that wasn't too complicated of an answer, but if I had to lump it into two different things for 9mm, I'm going to kind of go back and forth between 147 grain standard pressure for smaller compact guns. Anything that gets to be mid-size to even full size, I'm a fan of the 124 grain plus P. So Mateo just brought up a good point. Thank you. So from a short barrel, if you want heavy for caliber, the Rem Golden Sabers is good to go too. Softer jacket for the lower velocities. Yes, that's another very good point you bring up. I'm trying to think if I have any of the. I don't have a box. Well, I might of 124 grain plus P. No, I don't have one here, but yeah. And I'll give you guys a tip too. You can buy these HSTs in a little plastic box at your local store, or you can go online to SG Ammo and you can get these 50 count boxes. Now they say they're for law enforcement, but you can buy them. Regular, you know, non-law enforcement can buy them from there. And this is what I was told a long time ago, that when it says law enforcement on it, basically the only way it leaves the federal factory or warehouse is if there's a law enforcement contract to go with it. Now, once it's left there and there's a law enforcement order for it, what can happen is a law enforcement department might say, we want 200,000 rounds this year from SG Ammo. Well, as the year goes on, they might be over budget, or they didn't shoot as much or train as much as they thought. So they end up with extras, kind of like not really overruns, but just extras from the purchase. And then anything that's extra, they don't want to get stuck with it, so they'll sell it. So there's nothing that says they can't sell this to the public. It just simply means that federal's policy is they want to have a law enforcement purchase order on this before it leaves the factory. So I thought I'd bring that up because I think there's a lot of people confused on that topic. There is no rule or whatever that says that, you know, regular non-law enforcement people can't have this. It's just it's a weird thing. But you can find the same exact ammo, like literally the same ammo, in a plastic clamshell. Now, this here is an HST for a 380. So this is 99 grain 380 HST. What you'll notice is And I just don't have any of the small little, plastic retail boxes of this ammo. But you could buy this in like 124 grain plus P, and if you buy it at Walmart in this package, it's going to say personal defense on it. The same exact ammo, but it's cheaper, and a 50-pound cardboard box is going to say law enforcement. As long as you make sure that your grains and pressures are the same, it's the same stuff. It really is. It just has to do with purchase orders and company policies from federal. I know some other people do that too. I think you've got, Spear, some of their stuff. They do the same thing. They put law enforcement on the box. But yeah, there's not a lot of mystique about it. It's just the way things are bought. Hornady Critical Defense. I hate to knock anything, but not my favorite, to be honest with you. Yeah. Yeah, Bastard. I do like the Chinese 7.62x39. I was talking to someone about that the other day. It's got a little shower of sparks out of it, but it also has like a different smell to it when you actually shoot it. The gunpowder smell. The Chinese, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm nuts, but it seems like it always smelled a little better. Like it had a little more of like that, not quite black powder, but a little more of a powdery smell. And come on, you guys are laughing at me, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Isn't that part of the fun of shooting, is getting that whiff of, smoke in your face, the gunpowder smell? I actually really enjoy it. So let's see what we got going on here. Boy, Bastard, I know what you're talking about. I'm going to have to look that up, actually. I don't have the actual SVD scope. I do have the PSL scope, though, that comes on the Romanian ones. Man, that's a little bit too technical for me right here without looking it up. The bullet drop compensation numbers on an NPZ 4x24 SVD scope. It has 0 through 15. I can only find reference to 0 through 10 and 0 through 20. I'm sorry, man. I don't know that one right off the bat. And I definitely wouldn't want to lie to you. What's my favorite 7.62x39 ammo to shoot? Well, boy, I'm going to get some people mad at me here. But basically, about anything, it's not Golden Tiger or that new Red Army Standard, which is basically Golden Tiger that's been repackaged. I mean, I have Golden Tiger ammo, but time and time again, AKs are usually pretty reliable. But anytime I've had any failure to feed problems or any type of problems with the mags, kind of like the ammo getting stuck inside the mags, it's always with that heavy lacquered ammo. So, and this doesn't happen a lot, but I found that, when it does happen, it's usually always with that lacquered ammo. So as much as people talk about Golden Tiger, which, look, I'll give Golden Tiger props on one thing. Ammo storage. If it gets a little bit damp, if you get, exposed to some water or whatever, everything's sealed on it. It's got, that thick lacquer covering the steel case, obviously. It has a sealed primer, all of that. So for storage and all that, great. But that kind of becomes a moot point if it jams on you. Like, it's kind of one of those catch-22s. Like, yeah, it's going to be well-preserved in time to then cause you problems later. I don't know. And again, I'm not trying to exaggerate this or overhype it, because I know a lot of people love the ammo. That's fine. I have more problems with that thick lacquered ammo than I do almost anything else. But I'll show you guys something here. Let me see. These are the ones that are in a little bit better shape. I sorted through it, but yeah, I had some loose. This is the Tula ammo, 7.62x39. You can see here, there's actually a little surface rust forming on this ammo. And that's just from me having it here in an open box where there's, getting to be a decent amount of humidity in my shop. I have a dehumidifier going, but still gets a little humid once in a while. And you can see a little surface rust. So if you have ammo like this, I like to take it and put it into an ammo can, a sealed ammo can with a functioning gasket, and put a packet or two of the desiccant, in there, the silica gel. One mid-sized packet or a couple small ones. But as far as just shooting it, I don't mind this Tula ammo. I think it's fine. I also like the Wolf. Wolf's great. Chinese stuff I used to shoot more. The Chinese stuff I still have. I'm tending to not really shoot much anymore because it's kind of become a little bit collectible since it was banned for import many years ago. The Yugoslavian ammo is nice actually for a brass case. So basically, I don't mind shooting almost any of it as long as it's not like so collectible that I'd be stupid to shoot it, and as long as it's not lacquered ammo. That's kind of where I'm at with that. Civil defense plus P, 2,000 foot per second. What chambering would that be in? Is there a 9 that actually goes 2,000 foot per second, or is that another round or another caliber? Looks like poor conservatives here. How's it going, man? Have you been getting all this rain over there too? I know you get completely different weather than me, even though you're not really that far away. Let's see what else we got here. See, Ninja Scout likes Golden Tiger. I told you, a lot of people like it. I'm just not, I don't know. I would definitely take the M67 Yugo, which is a brass case. And Wolf's fine. I don't mind Wolf. What problems have you had with Wolf? Because a lot of times I've noticed the hollow points can act up a little bit. But Wolf ammo itself, I usually stick with FMJ, by the way, guys. For 7.62x39, pretty much always FMJ. I mean, I have a few hollow points here and there. I've fooled around with the soft points, but I'm not really a big fan of them. The hollow points don't expand anyways. All they do is contend to, they can lead to failures to feed. So it's just not worth it for something that doesn't really have any extra benefits, Yeah, wet as heck where you're at too. I'm not surprised. Bastard shooting something with Arabic writing on it. Maybe Egyptian? Oh, the 40 civil defense is 2,000 foot per second. Yeah, but that's a 60 grain. So, what do you guys think? Is that worth it? You're throwing it at 2,000 foot per second. I wonder what length of barrel that's out of. But with all due respect, you're down to 60 grains. So, and I don't think that bullet's going to really act like a rifle bullet, right? It's not going to have the same characteristics as like a, 55 grain. Is it? The Army shot up heaps of Lapua 7.62x39 in their AKs. That's interesting. Sounds expensive, doesn't it? Okay, Mateo's saying out of a 4-inch barrel. Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with using whatever you want, guys. I'm just kind of like a little skeptical that you could even take a little pistol round and make it act like a rifle round, but if you can, Let me see here. What are you guys talking about? Yellow box? Oh, Narinko. Yeah, some people, there's different color codings on the boxes. There's, the silver box, the yellow box, and then you can find some of the older Monarch. Then the military mark stuff would always come in a 10, right? Like a galvanized 10 that had the seams all soldered on it. And that's where you can find a lot of the nice steel core stuff that's quite collectible nowadays, apparently. Get rid of those stupid Tula ammo rounds. But yeah, I don't mind Tula ammo. I'll shoot Tula ammo 9mm too. Not a problem. I just don't like all that crap on the casing. Have you guys noticed that too? That thick lacquer, it can just kind of gum up and cause problems, Somebody said they had a squib blow. That's no good. Excuse me. Wait, what happened now? Francis said he just spent $700 impressing a girl from the Philippines last night. Interesting. Was that gun related or? I mean, like what kind of gun related? Like, this is my rifle, this is my gun, this is for shooting, this is for fun. I wish they would make a 7.62 by 25 AK pistol. That'd be awesome. Like the little 9mm, pistols with the braces and all that. Man, I would die for one of those in 7.62 by 25. Wouldn't that be pretty cool? Say don't spoil them because then they might want to keep coming back, and that could get expensive. Oh man. Yeah, you guys are talking, over 2,000 foot per second. Traditionally, though, you're not going to really be shooting over 2,000 foot per second out of a handgun. Now, if you are, it's going to be one of these caliber guys you guys are talking about, but not in 9mm. I don't know anything in 9mm that's over 2,000 foot per second. Do you guys? Anything that would actually be reliable? And don't tell me there's like some 27 grain 9mm. Okay, just as I said that, Mike said there is a. Okay, let's see here. Punches through 3A armor, civil defense, 2,000 plus foot per second, 9mm. Okay, I guess there is. I'm not an ammo expert though. If you guys will be able to stump me good if you want to. Parsing like foot per second on all these like weird gimmick rounds, but yeah, I believe you, man. I'm not doubting that at all. I just wonder how many grains it is. Let's see here. The 7.62 by 25 AKs in Pakistan. Why don't we make that happen? We got to get a hold of someone in Pakistan. Does anyone have any contacts over there so we can get some 7.62 by 25 AKs? We would have to have them as pistols, unfortunately, because I don't want a 7.62 by 25 out of a 16-inch barrel. So instead, I'd rather go with a braced pistol, right? So make that happen, Brastard. I do have a 7.62 by 25 pistol from Pakistan. I have a Pakistani Tokarev, TT-33 type. So I wouldn't call it a high cap, but yeah. See if your godson can pull some strings over there and get us some of those 7.62 by 25 AKs. Even though I know he can't, so. But I had to say it anyways. I'm desperate. I really, really, really want a 7.62 by 25 AK pistol. It's been on my list for quite some time. Wouldn't it be cool too if somebody besides, and I know Vapor did it already, but if somebody that we could still buy guns from would do a 6.5 Grendel AK. I think that'd be awesome. And I know again, they did it in the Vapor, relatively low production numbers, but our anti-gun current president got rid of those for us. So, yeah. 6.5 Grendel, I think it'd be awesome in an AK. But not really a Vapor. I'm talking like a true AKM clone or even an AK pistol, right? Something with, a 12 and a half inch barrel, folding brace. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Like a little PDW. That would be pretty awesome. Oh, he's out of the Army, poor conservative. I got you now. And he's a private contractor. Okay. I got you. Because I know if he's currently, enlisted active duty, he's probably not going to quite have access to that stuff as much. Again, I've never served, so I'm not going to speak for anyone, but different people I've talked about, they're not really able to just go and, barter with the civilians over there for weapons. That might be a little bit illegal, but ask Estava for a 7.62 by 25 millimeter AK pistol. Good idea. Keep asking them. I don't know if they're going to do it though. What are you guys asking here? Oh yeah, if somebody can do a build, go for that too. That'd be a good idea. Seth, I don't know what the odds would be. I bet you Bastard has one of those. Ask him. He might have. I think he found one out in the desert one day. Yeah, you guys are talking about different security contractors. That's a pretty well paid job, isn't it? I heard the contractors is kind of like after working all those years for relatively low pay, right? And our Army or Marines or Navy or wherever you're in, I've heard a lot of people use that to then go into the contracting world. And I've been told there's actually some decent money in that. It's a way to kind of cash in on being poor for all those years that you were enlisted, you know. Limber Johnson's here. What's happening, man? Let's see here. Are you guys speaking in code? I'm trying to figure out what you guys are talking about here. Switchbot says 2004 was the best. I'm not really sure what that's code for. You guys can use code all you want. That's fine. I just can't answer the question if it's coded, but let me see what's going on here. Any more questions for me, guys? Because I'm going to show you guys a couple more little Milsurp tips. I'm going to show you a couple little rifle things because people are starting to ask me, like, well, what kind of SKS should I get? And my first answer is I need to know more information. So the first thing I'll ask you is, do you want to collect? Do you want to just have it as a shooter? So pick one as your primary, or maybe the answer is both. And if the answer is truly both, here's where it sucks and it gets expensive to collect. If you want to both have a shooter and both collect, you might be able to find a gun that suits both needs for now, but then something's going to happen to you. And the more you want to get into collecting, you're going to want to get models that are a little more and more collectible, meaning usually more rare or more correct or in better condition. And then you're not going to want to shoot that one as much, right? Because if you break a numbered part, and it's an all-matching, beautiful example of a gun, you've permanently just tanked the value of that gun. Now, again, there's different ways to look at this. So I'm not saying that some people might not care about that. Well, then at that point, you're just a shooter. So I would recommend this. If you're just a shooter, you should probably get a Russian refurb or Chinese, something that's, a little more affordable. And again, more of a basic level one. Like when I say Chinese, that can mean many, many, many things. And I have 2 more Russian SKS videos coming up in my series. And after that, we're going to transition into Chinese. And trust me, I don't own nearly all of them, but I'm still going to be showing you guys a lot of Chinese variants. So you could have a Chinese SKS that's worth as little as $300, let's just say, all the way up to ones that are worth well over $1,000. Believe it or not, there are Chinese SKS variants that are easily worth over $1,000. And you can do whatever you want. If you've got the money just to kind of do whatever, you could buy a brand new super rare version that was only imported into the country on a limited basis 30 years ago. You could shoot the heck out of it, break apart, wear it out. And if you don't care, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you. But if you just literally want to shoot and you're not wealthy, yeah, buy a shooter. You don't have to sweat it. If you already have a mismatched magazine, let's just say hypothetically, the gun's already not matching. So if you were to have something happen to that gun and you dropped it and dented the magazine, no harm, no foul. Just grab a new one off of eBay or Gunbroker or whatever, and you didn't accomplish, you didn't even run anything except for the cost of the part. That's all you're going to be down. So yeah, that's basically like a really basic 101. And the answer is just not both as much as people would like it to be. People think that they want to both collect and You can start off that way, but it's pretty addictive. Once you really like a certain platform of gun, it's hard to get into it and then just have like one. Tree guy, yeah, the Romanian SKS are very good actually. I didn't mention that as one of my examples right now, but yeah, I have a Romanian SKS. Great little guns. Not extremely valuable, but yet somewhat uncommon. You know, they didn't make quite as many of them. You don't really. Let's see here. Bastard says just skip to the Chinese. No. I've got stuff that I need to cover with the Russians. A couple other Russian ones that, you know, a couple variants, and then I have to do the transition because to give you guys a little sneak peek, the very last Russian guns became the very first Chinese guns. And I mean like in a literal sense. When they set up the tooling in China to get them going, they carried over parts, receivers, varying degrees of built guns, including some completely built guns. So yeah, there's definitely an important transition between the Chinese, or the Russians rather, into the Chinese, because they literally, there's some guns that you could look at them, and you guys will see this in a couple weeks here. There's some you can look at and you'd be 100% convinced that it was Russian, except for it's import marked Chinese, or there might be one or two little details on it. So, yeah, there's definitely some interesting transitions there. And the thing is that when people are talking about collecting too, that can mean many things. So it's hard to come off when I talk about collecting and not be like a collector snob, because I'm not at all. You can be what's just called a pattern collector. You just want one model of each military surplus gun from a certain war, a different country, and that's awesome. Nothing wrong with that at all. So if that's the case, and you're not really looking to, like, you know, establish a detailed collection or sell these guns for money later on, you know, as an investment. Now, obviously, if you're buying for the sole purpose of making profit, you should have an FFL. We all know that. But you don't have to have an FFL to buy guns as an investment, and then later on, when you get out of the hobby, expect to make profit. That's totally fine. You're allowed to make money on guns you sell later. You just don't want to do it where the sole and primary purpose is to make a living and actually make money, right? So, but if you're not trying to do that, there's nothing wrong with having it be your shooter SKS, refurb, whatever it is, cheaper Chinese one, and also have it in the collection. I mean, I have a lot of guns like that, guys, where yes, they're part of the collection, but it happens to be the only one I have. So, you know, you can put them up there, and I don't know how you guys do things. Some people do the safe thing. Some people have a well-secured room where they like to line them up on the wall, and it looks cool to have all the different varieties there. And if you're really, really into it, it's going to mean something to you. Maybe you have a couple of friends that do, but here's the thing. 99% of the people that come over that you would trust to show your guns to, they're not going to know the difference between the rare one and the cheap one anyway. So some of it kind of becomes funny, you know, at a certain point. But hey, depends what you love. If you love Milsurps and you love collecting, it doesn't matter what anyone says, right? If you don't like it, it's the same difference. They can tell you it's one of 5 that were ever brought in the country, and you're not going to pay a penny more for it if you just want a shooter. So it's definitely weird with these Milsurp guns, how it can go back and forth with the way people look at things. What's happening, Mike J? He said, someone's rocking a beard again. Who would that be? Do you have a beard going, SwitchPod? That must be who he's talking about. Let's see here. Somebody asked me something about... Francis says, I remember when my dad bought my Russian SKS. My dad was pissed I sold it for a $300 profit. And then he shut the heck up. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not going to sell my Russian that, you know, I got from my dad just because, I mean, I can't ever say that. If I needed the money bad enough, maybe I would. But fortunately, I haven't had to do that. So I'd rather just keep it and hopefully I never have to sell it. Let's see here. Tapco stock. Hey, you know what? It just depends. If you're not into collecting at all and you don't care about the provenance and you don't want it to look correct, I will say this. I have an SKS that I had in a Tapco stock, you know, and it does have a certain degree of comfort to it. I'll admit that with the adjustable stock, you know, and stuff. There's a little more functionality if you want to put, you know, a light on it or something. So this is going to surprise you guys. It's not for me, but I'm going to recommend it to somebody, you know, if that's what they want. If you tell me I do not care about its tradition, its heritage, the fact that it's military, the fact that, you just don't like how a wood gun looks, that's fine. The Tapco stock is definitely going to offer you some functionality, and quite probably, depending on your build, obviously, but it's probably going to offer you some more comfort when you shoot the gun too. So yeah. But as a whole, exactly what Mateo said. Nyet. A world of nyet. I mean, with that said, yeah, they do add some functionality. And you know what? You can put that on there if you want and take it back off. It's not like it's a permanent thing. Just keep your wood furniture. And if you're like, nah, I want to become a little more collector or display my gun later on, go ahead. Take the Tapco stock off. Put the wood one back on. Not a problem. Someone was talking about Albanians or Egyptian Rashids. I have some Albanians. Those are going to definitely be one of the topics covered on my series. I have more than one Albanians, more than... I'll just go that far with it. Give you guys a couple hints on those. But those will be out there. There's some rare variants. I was talking about how certain guns will have some that are rare. Well, generally all Albanians are uncommon. That has to do with they didn't make many, and there was like an armistice treaty where many were destroyed. The ones that weren't destroyed, there's certain years and that are a lot more rare than others. Rashid is absolutely not an SKS whatsoever. I understand where you would group it into the same category, and that's fine, but at the same time, definitely not an SKS, like zero, Agatron says, shoot a gun, please. How's it going? Nice to have you here. Not going to shoot a gun in here. I am going to do some shooting videos. I really will. It's just, this is never going to be a big shooting channel, If anyone ever had a YouTube channel that I was near within driving distance and they wanted to shoot guns and their channel's into that, I would definitely do a guest appearance with someone, work with someone on something like that. It's just, that's not 100% focus of this channel is actual shooting videos. But with that said, I do have some footage that I need to get out there, and there'll be some shooting on this channel. So never say never, but just not really my big thing, Like Armed Ape said, nothing like some good wood. As long as it's good wood, yep. Oh, France likes the, July 10th rifle, the Albanian, because that's his birthday. Huh, what a coincidence. Do you have a whole boatload of them then? There's pictures on the internet of SKS that has a barrel cut back a bit and the front sight block turned into a muzzle brake. That's interesting. Let's see here. What are you talking about, man? Let's see here. SP channel, discussion, email. I'm not really sure what that means. What are we looking at here? I must have missed something. I'm trying to read you guys' questions, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Albanian SKSs seem like they've gone up in price quite a bit. I see them pop up here and there still on like Gunbroker. I don't know if anyone wants to sell one or not, to be honest. I had a fellow YouTuber that's a friend of mine offer me some pretty decent trade for mine, and I really wanted him to have one. I'm glad he found one elsewhere, and he's done a video on it, but man, I just didn't want to let mine go. There's something about my SKSs. I like to kind of get more of them and not less, and it's really, really, really hard to pry an SKS out of my hands, but this other person I'm talking about, he definitely got one, and he's done a video on it, so I'm happy he got one. But he was more than generous with trade offers, and I really like the guy a lot, but I still wouldn't let one go. So it's kind of a thing when it comes to that with the SKSs. All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break here. If you guys have any other questions, drop them in there. You can say whatever you want, but if you highlight it like Francis just did, then I see it easier because it's in orange. But I'm trying to read through all of them anyways, even though half of what some of the comments don't make any sense. But let me real quick see if anyone else snuck in here that I didn't see. If I didn't say hi to you, it's literally because I got off on a tangent and didn't see you in here. So that's important to me. If anyone's in here and said hi to me once and I didn't say hi back, please say hi to me again so that I know you're here, you know? Just taking a real quick peek here before I take a 5-minute break. Dog Dad was in here. What's up, man? You were in here like 40 minutes ago. Hopefully you're still here. I just got your message, by the way, that you sent me in YouTube, like literally like 45 minutes ago. Apparently YouTube comments has like a jail and it put it in there as likely spam. So I feel really bad. I hope you don't think I was blowing you off. You were offering to help me and be really nice. And your comment was literally, I'll call it in the YouTube jail, YouTube comments jail. So I'll be sending you an email, and I really appreciate the offer, man. Really do. I hope you're here to hear this because probably looked like I was blowing you off for the last week, but randomly comments just get thrown in there, and the YouTube thinks it's spam or whatever, and I don't get an alert for it. So unless I'm specifically hunting through my YouTube Creator Studio, I am just simply not going to know it's there unless I look in there. How's it going, Walter Miner? What's up, man? Glad to have you here. You've just recently commented on my videos. I remember seeing you. I think you're kind of new to the channel, so nice to see you. Rockford Ordnance, how's it going, man? What did you miss? Oh, I don't know. Not a whole lot. There's nothing really important to miss here, is there? I don't know. Wait, I was just talking about some Milsurp 101 stuff for guys that are just getting into it. So, I think you probably already got the bases covered on that. So, in your case, Rockford, I don't really think you missed too much important. But anyways, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. I'll be right back, guys. And if you have any more questions, just leave them in there. At Glock Shooter 79, I'll make it in orange where I can see it, see it better. Yeah, Walter, cool. That's what I thought, man. Good to see you here, for real. All right. All right, I'm back. Is there anybody left in here? Let's see. Did I scare you all away by leaving or what? Oh, no, there's still people here. Cool. I'll talk for a little bit longer then. Would you guys even notice, though? Like, if I just took off and went to bed because I have to get up for work early, would you guys just sit in here and hang out in the chat? I've been in that before, actually, where the host of the stream kind of like tuckers out a little bit and leaves, and then people still chat for hours later. See, like poor conservative said, you left. See, there you go. Now that's a true supporter of the channel. Didn't even notice I left. No, I knew you left earlier, but that's why I like you, man. Didn't even notice I was gone. Still had just as now. Poor conservative owns. I don't know much about your personal business, but I know you're a businessman like me. And hey, you got to close down the shop. I'll be honest with you guys. As late as I started tonight, this was me like trying to get on quick. I still have a whole truck full of equipment to unload: weed whacker, gas cans, blower, everything. So I haven't even closed my shop up yet for the night either. Like, I'm in my shop right now, Oh, Dex, yeah, good point. Good point. Have I ever been inappropriate though? I try to be, at least a somewhat classy guy in front of the camera, If I was doing streams 10 years ago, you never know what would go on in this shop back in the day. But I'm getting a little old now. I've settled down quite a bit, and you know what I'm saying. I'm pretty much straight-laced and kind of just a square nowadays, Nothing too crazy going on around here. I've got all those back in the day stories like everybody, though. But once you hit my age, it's kind of like, nah. I had a big milestone birthday a month ago, so just humor me, guys. 31 days ago was pretty big milestone birthday for me, and not really, in a good way. Not like when you're looking forward to being 16 or you're looking forward to being 21 or nah, one of those crappy milestone birthdays. Well, you guys know. Look at my username. That'll give you a hint on how old I am, okay? And why I'm not exactly happy about, whatever. Who cares? Let me take a quick peek here. Speaking of low energy. Oh, you again? You again? Seriously? All right, sorry guys. That little pissant. He's still here. Barely noticed him because he's such a little guy, but he's still here. Doing his thing. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Did anyone have any questions other than how old are you? Don't ask me how old I am. Look at my username, and then don't even ask after that. Let me take a peek here, see what you guys are talking about. Oh, geez. Mateo says he has a 25 ACP round worked up that out of a 1.1-inch barrel is 4,000 foot per second at 90 grains. What do you guys think of that? He didn't really say that. You guys were just driving me nuts with those ammo reports because, yeah, this is a Q&A. You can ask me whatever I want, but you guys hit me. I'm not an ammo ballistics guy. You guys were stumping me pretty good on that. Yeah, I've been in the sun. I'm wearing good sunscreen, and I even wear one of those hats that comes all the way around, and it's got the neck thing. But, yeah, I've been out in the sun quite a bit. Oh, thanks, Dex. Happy late birthday, you said. I appreciate it. It's not a big deal. It was definitely nothing I was really, too excited about. There you go, Francis. There you go. Like I said, you guys are smarter than me. There's always a smart ass in the crowd. He says, there's no way you're 79. I thought you were like 42. Well, neither. How about that? Mateo's psychic powers are legendary. Holy crap. I've got psychics in here and everything tonight. And Oh, come on, poor conservative. What's that old Garth Brooks song? I'm much too young to be feeling this damn old. Anyone else like that song? That is a good song. Seth wants to know what's my opinion on the Czech VZ52. I actually like it a lot. I do. 7.62 by 45. Very potent round. There's nothing wrong with the Czech 7.62 by 45. The ammo can be a little hard to get. I know there's at least one or two sources online right now, though, for pretty affordably priced ammo. So if you're into that gun, what you basically have to do is look for it. It kind of comes in waves. Don't try to buy a bunch of the ammo when it's dried up because you'll spend a fortune. You don't want to spend like $1 a round for the stuff. But I saw as of just a couple months ago, you could buy it for about 50 cents a round, which is still, 2.5 times what a cheap, 7.62 by 39 Tula ammo is going to be. But yeah, I really like the Czech, CZ-VZ52. And it's definitely not an SKS, and I'm sure you already knew that. Just for anyone else, not an SKS, not even close. But it's a really, really nice gun, and I really like the cartridge. I kind of wish that, the Soviet powers hadn't clamped down so much on Czechoslovakia and let them kind of keep using that round longer. I say let them because it was kind of the thing where Czechoslovakia would try to like reach out on its own a little bit, and then Russia would come back in and go, get back over here. So they came out with the gun. Not too many years later, they came out with the, VZ58, which VZ just stands for Vizor, VZOR, which means model. So when we say, VZ52, VZ58, that's the model of 1952, model of 1958, right? And that's how a lot of the Czech guns are going to be named. So that's why when people say like CZ, VZ, well, CZ stands for Czechsa Zbrojga. Can't pronounce it. Make fun of me if you want, but that's what that stands for. And then VZ just stands for Vizor, model. Yeah, so then they went back to the 7.62 by 39. And they actually had the VZ. They actually had the VZ52 series, the VZ52/57, which I said this a while ago, but whenever you have a slash with Milsurps, it usually means the model of 52 as upgraded, like new revision in 1957. They did start rechambering some of them in the 7.62 by 39. And then, of course, a year later, the next rifle that looks like an AK, but is actually not an AK at all, right? The VZ58 came to be. And the VZ58s were actually still in service up until, well, they're not the frontline weapon anymore, but they are still actually in service today. They've not completely retired all the VZ58s. That's why we had a bunch of parts kits come in for a real affordable price a few years ago. I think there's some still floating around right now, to be honest. Not quite the price they were a couple years ago. I mean, Centerfire had them for $200 with complete intact original barrel 2-3 years ago, What are we talking about here with the Galil? Galil, another great gun. What Seth says would be interesting to see a SKS in 7.62 by 54R. Yeah, but if you remember, the reason why probably they didn't have one of those, if you think about it, is they already had a 7.62 by 54R semi-automatic, and that would be the SVT40. So if you look at it that way, no, they're not the same guns. Don't mistake what I'm saying here. But they kind of did already have that at that time, a semi-automatic 7.62 by 54R. So, yeah. Jeez, oh, Pete's poor conservative. I'm trying to add this up here. If you keep it up, man, I know you're ripping on me, but if you keep up, I'm gonna have to call you an old man, dude. Let's see here. Adrian's here. He said, I caught you live. Yes, you did. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a very long stream tonight. I'm going to be getting off pretty soon, but glad to see you here, man. Yeah, Bastard says Apex still has VZ58 parts kits with original barrels. Yep, they do. I think they've gone up in price a little bit, but yeah. Glad to have you here too, Adrian. What are you into, man? Are you into Milsurps or modern handguns or rifles, or what's your thing, Adrian? Well, I didn't start till late, Rockford. And again, it's not because I want to. It's just because of 24 days of rain in the last 31. It's just not a necessity. Yeah, Serbian collection. Cool, man. Well, here's a nice Serbian rifle that you probably like. The M64 AK. I'm sure you've seen all these guns before, but here's another Serbian one for you real quick. The M57. What we would call a former Yugoslavian, right? Well, I still call them Yugos. You know what? I've talked to quite a few people that still live over there in that region of the world, the former Yugoslavia, right? Whether they currently live in, Slovenia, they could currently live in Macedonia, obviously Serbia, Croatia. And the different ones, I've actually respectfully asked them, do you mind if we call them Yugos here? And every person said, no, that's not a problem. You can call it a Yugo. We get it. We know what you're talking about, you know? In fact, one guy that's from Serbia actually told me, he said, no, we don't mind it at all because this was just what he said. I'm not trying to get into a political thing with that region of the world. But he said, hey, he said, times were great here under Yugoslavia. At least according to his perspective, he says, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. Just saying. The 80% receivers, I've seen those too, Brastard, actually. And of course, I've seen the completed ones too. I don't actually know the finished processes. I'm not really a machinist either, though. But yeah, I have been interested in some of those 80% VZ58 receivers. I really have been. What I really wish is they didn't have to destroy the receivers or didn't feel like doing it. Like with this Yugo M64 here. I mean, the way they cut this so politely, you can see the weld mark here. You can barely see the weld mark right here. But yeah, even though this is legally a U.S. receiver, right? Not a machine gun receiver. For all intents and historical purposes, I still have an original receiver here, guys. Really. I mean, by legal standards, no, but you guys know what I'm getting at. They're still the same steel that left Yugoslavia. And you saw the original roll marks, Zastava, Krvugevec, Yugoslavia. So yeah, pretty cool, huh? This one got obliterated a little bit by the heat, but you can still see the CZ for the Krvina Zastava logo there. Man, why? They already cut these guns up. Why can't we still get parts kits like this? With original barrels still intact, like this one. And now, with the exception of those VZ58s, those somehow fell under some kind of loophole, if you will, But other than those, every receiver that's been brought in for a number of years has to be like completely destroyed. Original barrel has to be pulled and destroyed. It's just a bunch of crap, But yeah, Adrian, yeah, the bolt hold open does work in here. It is functional. So I'm going to release the mag. Obviously, I have one of the M64 bolt hold open mags here that you have to have these or you'll destroy your bolt hold open device, right? But yeah, this has a functional bolt hold open. So okay, let's see what else we got going on here. Let me check and see if there's anything I'm missing here. Thanks, Matt Morrison. He said this thing is sweet. It is one of my favorites. I do like it quite a bit. This was welded by Tim at Two Rivers. I don't know, maybe you guys have heard of them before, Two Rivers Arms. They're kind of famous for their re-welds. So I just want to know where you can find a stamped Yugo M70 B1 parts kit. Can't find those anywhere. For that, probably on the secondary market. M70 B1. About the only Yugo kits that are really out there is, you know, you can get some M70 AB2 kits here and there still. The RPK kits, of course, right? Your M72 B1s, which I know that's not what you asked. These are still pretty available on the primary market. But the fixed stocks, so the B1 M70s, which is their AKM, right? 1.5 millimeter thick, bulge trunnion AKM, if you will. I say that with air quotes because I consider all the Yugo models to be kind of models in and of themselves. I don't really consider them to be AKM pattern. I think you guys know what I mean. But yeah, an M70 fixed stock, you're probably going to have to go secondary market. I hate to say it. Basically Gunbroker or other places like that at this point. At one time, you could get those pretty easily, pretty cheaply. Unfortunately, the ship's kind of sailed on those, I think. It's been long enough now. I'm not sure if we'll ever get any more. Have I ever owned a Yugo milled M70 that Century or another manufacturer put out? Let me think. No, I don't think so. No, not any of the Centuries like that. Nope. And they used to have one called like the M70 ABM, as I think what Century called it. I've not had one of those, but I do know what they are. Adrian just got a CZ999, which is like a civilian version of a CZ99. I don't know when it's going to come out, but I do have a video planned on the CZ99. I have a regular military issue type Milsurp, and I have another one that's like more of an ornamental or ceremonial one that's kind of jazzed up. So I do have a couple of the CZ99s. And I also have a TZ99. If you guys are familiar with those, that's like Trezetu or Trezetu, however you pronounce it. That would be the South African CZ99 clone. And that was called the TZ99. So I actually have 3 versions of that gun. 2 from, 2 in the Kravina Zastava, and then the other in the, I can't pronounce it, but we'll just call it, it's the TZ99 from South Africa, which are a little bit on the uncommon side. Like, I don't want anyone to ever come in the chat and make a scene, but you know what would be kind of at least a little bit stand-up-ish, if you will? If you don't like the videos, why don't you just come in here and leave something in the comments and say, hey, man, I don't like your streams. If you don't like it, you can leave. If you don't like it, you can stay here and hang out and say something. But, man, just hitting the thumbs downs and bouncing in and out to try to mess with my numbers, it doesn't matter. I'm not monetized. Again, sorry to bore you guys. All you guys that are active in the chat, it's not you. But it's like, come on, man. I have a little, analytics that I can see here. And it's like somebody's just, like I said, they're kind of lame. Just come in here and say something, Let's see here. Take a peek here. See what else you guys have got going. You know what, Adrian? I need a holster for my CZ99s. I haven't really seen those available on the Milsurp market. Have you guys? I mean, I can get Yugo M57 holsters with these. The little Yugo M70 pistols, the mini Tokarev and 7.65 Browning. Those usually come with a holster, but I've not really come across the CZ99 holster. I'll have to look that up. I don't know if those are uncommon or not, Well, the Sasava Arms CZ99 and 7.62 Tokarev. I don't know about that because, well, you have to remember, the CZ99 is more of a SIG design, right? And it's a big, fat double stack. Too big for a lot of people's hands, but some people like them. I don't know. To me, it seems like if they were using the 7.62 by 25, they should be able to get a little bit smaller grip going on because they're not going to chamber that in 40 or anything like that. So I don't know. To each their own on that. Let's see. AREX 0 might work as they've copied the Zastava. Somebody asking about magazines, maybe? Am I on the AK forum? If it's the one you're thinking about, not really. I have an account there, but you won't really see me on there too much. Yeah, I hear you on the double action, single action, double stack in 7.62 by 25, but I don't know that it would need to be that big. CZ99 is kind of a brick of a gun. I don't mind the gun. Like I said, I own basically 3 of them, 2 Yugos and 1 South African. So I'm definitely not hating on them, and they're cool from like a military historical standpoint, but they're just a little bit chunky. But that all depends on the shape of your hands, how long your fingers are, all of that, you know. So for one person, a gun that's a little bit too big is perfect for another guy. I totally get that. Oh, real quick here. I'll give you guys a real quick little range report. I showed this gun briefly last week, and I was able to take it out and shoot it a little bit. I wouldn't call it really a range trip, just kind of literally stepping out on my back patio and popping off a few rounds. But yeah, this Phoenix Arms HP 22A, actually loved it. Started off with some CCI mini mags. No problem. Have to put the safety on to eject the mag. Fired and cycled the mags without a glitch. I mean, no recoil. This is a solid steel gun. It's got a decent amount of weight for how small it is. Very, very smooth shooting. So I'm not going to give it a complete review yet, but let's just say my initial impressions are very fun gun for about $115. If that's your thing, you know, pretty nice. Okay, so the manual of arms is weird on this. And this is another one, by the way. You cannot insert the mag without first pressing the release, and then it inserts. Same thing here. And this is a modern American-made gun. That mag will not drop free. You have to grab onto it, pull it free. You go to push the mag back in. It hits an abrupt edge. Push the release there. Goes right back in. Now we can take the safety off because, yes, you do have to put the slide, or the frame safety, rather, on before you can release the mag. So now we'll take the safety off. We can cycle it. See if I can do this on camera. It's hard to do stuff backwards. It does have an actual, you know, hold open, though. Manual slide hold open right here. And now that we're on safe, we can go ahead and release the mag. And it'll keep the slide locked, right? And it's going to stay in position here, right? Because we can't take the safety off because there's no mag. So now we're going to put the mag in. This is, like I said, a really, really goofy manual of arms here. Now I can release the slide. And if that's not enough, there's a slide-mounted safety right here too. Yes, the manual of arms is a little quirky. I heard there's a modification you can do, though, that lets you release the mag without actuating this safety. So you can disable most of it, and that's what Brastard just said. So, but it was a pleasure to shoot. Very comfortable little gun. And I knew they wouldn't cycle, but I took some of the Aguila Calibri rounds, which those rounds have like a really small bullet. I think it's like 20 grains, if I'm not mistaken. And there's no gunpowder in the cartridge. It just shoots off of the primed rim, right? So it's just firing off of the explosion of the primer. And, of course, it's not going to cycle the action. But I was able to lob them in there. You know, I was shooting a tree at about 100 yards away. And I knew this tree. I've been shooting at it basically my whole life because I currently live right next door to my parents, which is the house I grew up in. So, you know, I was able to, you know, aim at this tree about 100 yards away at about this type of angle, you know. And I was lobbing in those Calibris right in there, hitting it about an 18-inch, wide tree trunk. And then I would just, recycle the action manually each time. It was ejecting them. So, yeah, it was functioning as a semi-auto with the CCI mini mags. And it was able to run the Aguila Calibri ammo as a bolt action, if you will. Pretty cool, huh? Oh, let's see here. This does have a partial half cock. It's not a true half cock brass thread. It's more like a quarter cock. Let's see if I can show this here. I mean, same purpose as a half cock, but it's more of a quarter. Orion Fixer, what's happening, man? Where you been at? He's lurking like he usually does. Let's see here. Take the left grip off. You'll figure it out in 10 seconds. I'm sure. I haven't really messed with it. I wanted to shoot it first, right? Like, I'm not going to even think about modifying this until I've had at least one little range session with it because, hey, it's a $115 gun. But if it's a complete lemon or it was a piece of junk, I'm going to want to send it back. But, yeah, I'll take it out and shoot it a couple more times. And if it goes as good as it did the first time, I'll get in there and tweak it a little bit, Let's see here. Matt Morrison saying, no, the actual AK forum. I go in there once in a while and read, but no, I'm not a member there. I'm really not a big forum guy, to be quite honest. Let's see here. All right, if you're not already gone, good night, Francis. Nice seeing you, man. Let's see. Yep, Rainbow arcing them, like Mateo said. Lobbing them in there. Yeah, the look of this gun is kind of cool. And you know what? If this thing checks out, which so far, great first impression, but if it still ends up being cool after, say I get 100 rounds through it or so, something like that, where I can start to kind of trust it as a decent little gun, I'm going to go right in and buy the 25 after that. I know you guys can make fun of me all you want, but for plinking, I kind of like the 25. Does it have reliable takedown? Is it good for self-defense? I don't think I need to answer that question. But there's something cool about a little mouse gun in 22 or 25. And 25 is kind of my preferred caliber over 22. Just for walking out on the back porch or the back patio barefoot and just plinking a few rounds. So I'm really hoping this guy works out for me so I can go ahead and make the jump to the 25 ACP version, which is around the same price, $119 for the 25. Which the 25, otherwise known as the 6.35. And yes, it's a military caliber. I have an old French pistol that was made in 1917, World War I, and it was an actual military-issued pistol, and it's chambered in. It says 6.35 on it, 6,35, because the way they did it in Europe, instead of decimal points, they always use the comma. You guys know what I'm talking about. 6.35. All right. I'm getting ready to sign off here any minute now. So if anyone has any more questions, go ahead and shoot them in there. But other than that, I kind of need to get going to bed soon because I have to get up in the morning. And it's going to be a long day tomorrow. Lots and lots of work to do tomorrow, that's for sure. So, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed, Adrian. Glad you finally got to catch us when we were live here. Good group of guys here. Come on back again. They won't bite too much. Mateo might bite, but here's the deal. You piss him off, you'll already be dead before you even knew it, so you don't have to worry about it. But, nah, they're all good guys in here. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to get off right now. It's past midnight. Sorry I started so late, but I'm literally just doing the best I can, So, thanks, Tree Guy. I need all the luck I can get. All right, guys. I will see you next week, and I promise you there's going to be more videos this week. And by the way, real quick, how about the gun guy, Joel Persinger? Just wanted to congratulate him on hitting his 100,000 subs. Hopefully some of you guys that I referred over there enjoy his channel. I mean, it's probably a lot better channel than mine, but yeah, good guy. And it couldn't have happened to a nicer, just more genuine, good dude. So I'm really proud of him. And if you're watching, Joel, job well done and keep it on up. So All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Until next time, have a good one.